Hey, wonderful readers! Welcome back for another episode of Ready, Set, Read. This is actually a bonus episode. I completed a bunch of videos. I got to the end and I realized, oh my goodness, I'm missing a really important instructional video. So I've titled it episode 1.5, episode 1.5, and this is all about reading notebooks. First, I want to start off by showing you something that's really special to me. This is a scrapbook, a photo album that I made from our summer 2 years ago. I make a book like this every time I go on vacation with my family. As you can see, it just has some different pictures and different things with some words, different memories, and it's kind of like keeping track so we remember all the fun things we did during the summer. Oh my goodness, look at these adorable boys. In the same way that I create scrapbooks for every trip I go on so that I remember all the fun things we do, you are going to create a scrapbook of your reading for this year. And we're going to keep it in a reader's notebook. Here are some of my reader's notebooks from the past. Let me just page through some so you can see what I include. This is from a few years ago. You can see I decorated the front, and I just have a lot of notes, some lists, a lot of writing, some stars, some highlighted stuff. This one just includes a lot of like writing long. This next one is more of what I've been keeping notes about this summer. It has a lot of things that I've learned about this school year, some of the trainings I've done. I'm just keeping notes on things I learn. Yeah. And this is my reader's notebook for this school year, 2021. If you've watched some of the read aloud videos on my channel, you see me actively filling this out. So you can see there's sticky notes. I have some charts. And some different things, and I also have created a book list. All you need to get started with a reading notebook is a blank notebook. It could be anything. And what I like to do is start, you can go a few pages in and, start writing whenever it feels good. And then I go to the back. I leave about 20 pages in the back, and I put a little sticky note, a little tab, and I put my book list back there. In this way, I can remember all the books that I read this year. And I make 3 columns. I put in the date, the title and author, and I give it a little rating. This way, if one of my friends is reading a book that I read previously in the year and I can't really remember if I liked it or not, I can check back to my book list and say, oh yeah, I did like that book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 rating. As we go through the year, you will keep notes about your reading. You will track your thinking. You will track your stamina. All of these things go into your reader's notebook, your scrapbook for your reading life. Let me show you a few examples of what you might start writing about today. When I read this story called A Little Bit Brave, I kept track of the characters and kind of the way that they were acting. And then at the end, I wrote about how a character changed. On the next book, the Amelia Bedelia book, I put in some sticky notes that I kept throughout my reading. And then I wrote what I felt about the whole book at the end. In this next story, on the next page, I kept track of the characters' emotions. And then in this story, I wrote about the lesson that the book taught me, and I also included the sticky notes I created throughout reading that story. Remember, if you want to watch me fill this out and kind of see my process, you can go to any of the read aloud videos and see how I take notes and use my reader's notebook. At the end of this mini series, there's 7 episodes. The last episode, we do a check back into our reading notebook and we kind of look at the habits, what we've been reading, the kind of notes we've been taking, and maybe look at areas where we need to improve. So it's really important that you write in your reader's notebook just a little bit every day. That might be keeping sticky notes right into the book you're reading, and then when you're finished, you move them into your reader's notebook. That might be doing a little doodle of maybe a good scene that you read in your book, and you could draw a picture of it in your reader's notebook. That might be talking about some characters, writing a few sentences about what you like about the book. If you maybe choose to stop reading a book because you don't like it, you might want to tell why. There are so many things you can write into a reader's notebook. And in this first series, in this first unit, you have a lot of free choice of what you want to write. But the one requirement is that you do write in it every time you read. That's all the information I have for you today. I hope you guys are going to get started with your reader's notebook today. You should move on now and do as long as you can of independent reading. It might be 20 minutes, it might be moving closer to 30 minutes today, but make sure you take a few notes. Happy reading!